How you want to talk about your guys' game? How did you think that it went?
I don't know what happened on Dust 2 to be honest, but like we put a lot of work before this event on Nuke, and I'm happy that it looked good. It's not stable for
Nice
sure.
T-side.
Yeah, T side
Yeah.
was. It's
Your
just,
smoke's outside. There's a problem twice.
Yeah, I know. I died twice in equip rounds, but yeah, I feel like we have improved because not the problem wasn't our T sides before, it was our CT sides, and this time we had a really good communication going on, and yeah, we felt better on
What
Nuke
was
for
it?
sure.
T-side though. It was closer half. It was like
Yeah,
9-6.
T side is like we needed
GT.
3 rounds, and yeah, somehow we got them.
Yeah.
What was your expectation coming in here?
To this event?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go top 3 at least. But we are at the moment in a state where we just say, okay, we can't give every tournament everything we have.
Yep.
And yeah, we just play like we played in Pro League. Yeah, I take it a bit closer.
There you go.
There we
yeah.
go. Yeah, that's good.
So we didn't come with big expectations like we need to win or make us pressure. We take it as more as a chill event. It's not like we don't take it serious, but it's not like we pressure ourselves to get, I don't know, final or at least top 3. But for myself, I want to top 3.
You're going to Chicago after, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a good, good warm up. You get to play offline a little bit.
Yeah, an event like this must be like one of the best ones to go to before an event like that. Like, I can only imagine because, like, yeah, you have time to fix it as well. You have computers available, and on top of that, you don't have to play overly serious. You can try a bunch of things, see if they work.
Also, all best of 3, so you just get to play a lot. So it's a
That's
good
true.
warm up.
Yeah, for us, it's just was a good timing. We needed to come to the US anyway because of Chicago, and then we had the chance to play here. And I love this event anyway because I watch always Dota, and I love it when players also talk with analysts and cast the game. What we at the moment not doing, but we will.
No, it's great. But, we want to get your thoughts first
that
as well.
starts to happen.
We gotta get
too
you
much.
introduced first.
But that's what's helpful
Right.
about having a player. So that pistol right there, we were talking about how Taz on CT side likes to get aggressive early in the half on gun rounds. So we're looking out to see that happen.
I hope that Kinguin can show what my expectations are for them, because I had really big expectations. Yesterday they had an off day, I feel like nothing worked. They didn't hit their shots. Like it's just like the machine wasn't oiled enough or something like that. And now I hope that they at least can say to themselves like, yeah, we at least played and had a chance, and yeah, hitting their shots like we see.
Did you see the Ghost Energy game yesterday?
Yeah, it was really close game, and I'm also really looking forward to play maybe against Ghosts. Maybe not on this event, but in one of the others, because I also heard a lot of positive stuff from other teams which practice against them. And I feel like they showing improvement every time, and there are a lot of good teams coming up right now. You need to have an eye, even though when you consider yourself better than them, or I don't know, maybe you should be better on paper, but there are a lot of teams coming up. Also, like in Starladder, you could see that a lot of teams can upset other teams, even though they are just called Tier 2 or something like that. But yeah, every team's getting there.
So we see another second round bye, which is like basically the default now almost for T's, and then CT side, everybody seems to buy third round. What do you think of the economy change?
I think you shouldn't buy in the second round, because I feel like it's let's put it like this: if you want an AWP in the third round or in the first buy round, then you can buy in the second round, because you can eco after, or maybe get a plant and then work with the AWP. But for us, it's really cool if we have a situation where there's no AWP versus no AWP, and like both teams have like 4,500, 4,800, and I feel I like it to buy then. Today we just bought one AK to make a little bit economy damage, and maybe we could have won the round, but yeah, it didn't work out so good. But we had we don't like to buy in the second round, but I feel like the change was really good.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you feel that it has become harder for CTs? Like, if you don't have a good start in CTs, right? You win pistol and you win second round and whatnot, and you win fourth, the first weapon round, I feel like you're just struggling on money the whole half.
Oh,
You don't agree?
I think if you win the pistol and you lose you lose one of the next rounds, then you can get the same problems what you have I don't know, maybe before. But if you win or if you lose, I don't think you have any problems then anymore for the money, because you can just save what they winning a
Ooh.
full
Yeah,
round.
yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
we're
sorry, you
talking
can
here.
say.
Sub Rosa and the boys put
sorry.
in work really quick. Yeah.
Well, they're equal. You don't have to
No,
go back,
they
yeah.
almost just won. You
It's
see-
all good.
One guy got 3 kills.
We're all good.
Still can win it.
Yeah. So have you not noticed the so if you win pistol on CT side, the second round, because you know they're saving and they're gonna buy third ST, you're forced to buy SMGs anyway because you can't buy M4 armor. Don't you feel like third round is very hard for CTs at that point? Because you're
if you that's right. Because if you have the wrong idea, maybe because sometimes that's a little bit a gamble, because it's also like lurppis said. Sometimes if you just buy in the second round and catch maybe one player off guard which just have an USP because he wants this AWP in the first buy round, then you can even win this round. So. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of a gamble, like this in this one-on-one, like if he makes the right decision, if he goes in or not. It's just hard to say. I feel like we need to wait a little bit more and see maybe in the big events how other teams approach it. But in Pro League at the moment, most of the teams I feel like made an eco and bought in the next round,
Right.
and had at least like good weapons. And some of the teams are also adjusting in saving in these rounds. And like you said, like maybe getting the SMGs, getting 3 or 4 kills, but then buy an AWP, and it's all about who's getting first to the AWP at the moment. A lot of times,
right.
It's even they just buying up without Kevlar and anything else, because
Yeah,
it's
just go class cannon.
just kind of surprising for a lot of people.
So for Kinguin, have you practiced against Kinguin on train at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
Or do we?
I was wondering, do you
think
know
so,
like what
not
we're
that I
supposed to
can
be
remember.
expecting? You know, like how they like to play.
Let me see which player. I most of the time know from the players how they like to play.
Jeez, what
Oh, he
is
hits
Sub
I
Rosa
think
doing?
Minis, by the way, is also really good with the AWP. Like he stepped up his game a lot, I think.
Got stuck, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like what I saw. It was really, and also we played a few times against them. They started to practice. I hope I'm not saying any secrets, but they started to play Dust 2, and I feel like he was really impactful and hard to play against. And which is I think also really interesting is that TAS is not playing inner anymore. That
Yeah, that's a change
Right.
from
Right.
from after a long time.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Who took that over instead?
These reads.
yeah.
I think
Reeds.
it's
Oh,
now
yeah,
the
yeah.
primary.
The question is how you want to approach if you just have one AWP. Is the AWP better as a rotator, or is it better than playing maybe on blue, on green?
I think like my personal preference is like you'd have someone who you kind of rotate around. The problem is like depending on how the AWPer is as a player, I think sometimes, you know, someone like you, i.e. the leader of the team, has to be the one who almost controls the AWPer, because you're probably going to be the one who has the best read on what you think the opponent's going to do. But I think in that sense, you just have more flexibility, and it's harder to counter if you're the other team.
I feel like it's really important to have sometimes the AWP, like most of the time, if we just talking about like standard, not about when you have a good read or something like that. Obviously, then the AWP should be somewhere else. But the inner rotator is really important, because how do you hold the explode against with just 2 rifles? It's sometimes really hard, because the AWP will always get the easy reflex, and it's hard to rotate against an AWP if the AWP can hold. Like
Yeah, if you can
that's
post
how
up for
they
lower
want.
and just hold Z.
I feel like that's also a lot of people play like this now, that the AWP is more of the time the rotator, and yeah, the second AWP is most of the time Ivy, so just have control and play aggressive, team it, and ladder. I think this is at the moment the meat.
The good thing about the
on
op being a rotator is it tends to catch people more off guard when he does like the upper push or the team mid play.
You don't give him so much room, you know, the inner players. Like he just goes on contact, and if you are the inner player, you feel like really stressed, because he can come. But if the off comes, yeah, let him come. Let us fight. My
Right.
big brother will punish you. You know, if you get in a fight, and he can just help you and make a lot of take a lot of pressure out of your shoulders. But you can say the same on Ivy maybe.
Grenade,
picked this
the
map, by the
grenade
way?
physics still
Ghost?
frustrate me.
Ghost picked, yes, and Kinguin picked Cash.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
interesting enough.
Don't see cash anymore so often.
No, yeah. No, that's what we were talking about. That's why I think Tommy asked as well how Ghost would be on that map. Around before we only saw just a plain inner take, right? I feel like that's pretty smart. Like utility-wise, early on for CT, so just so poor. You guys do that very much so as well. Just go somewhere, all 5 together, and just hit the bombs with a lot of utility on T side usually, unlike the first weapon round, because you know they have nothing.
What I like what they did. They start with a inner execute, like the whole half. They start with the inner execute because you can't really say or try to say this is the right time to do an inner execute. Obviously, if the enemy has double up, but in some point you need to do it that your game is balanced. And they said we start with it. Then now they gambled Kinguin with 3 inner, and now it will stay in their heads. Oh, we were in the wrong. We had a wrong read, or they look very balanced in the start of the rounds, and it will make them a lot of times overthink stuff, maybe over-rotate, or maybe they don't even rotate anymore because they say, hey, we don't really know where they're coming, and
start
really much
overthinking
pressure.
it a little bit.
Yeah. That's what G2 did really good against you, I think, yesterday. The first weapon round on CT for them, they pushed inner with 2. They got entry on you guys right off the bat. So you guys had to play very defensively.
When we were T?
Yeah, I think so, right? Did they push inner first weapon round as CT?
I'm not sure, but I know that we died in Ivy once where we played. Oh, nice, good flash.
Well, you can steal that for the next game.
No, we have this flash as well. We have exactly the same flash. So. No, it's hard for the ladder player to. He needs to decide if I turn, do I shoot blind.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to play a ladder anymore.
I mean, there's no guaranteed way to. Like, you just have to take a risk.
Yeah, exactly. This is something which is also like a lot of players got better in ladder control. A lot of times, like back in the days, where it was more CT sided, I think. Now it's not that much CT sided anymore. I feel like it leading for sure to CT.
Well, I think you were one of the first ones who started doing the double molly for ladder room, and I think that's what really shifted the balance, where T started being able to take almost guaranteed ladder control.
Yeah, it is really important to fight for ladder control, but now the CTs are getting smarter and try to retake it after, or give you the impression to retake it after, and that's why the whole teams got better in almost everything they do. And that's why you don't see so much easy frags anymore in ladder, because the T's just try to not give you that anymore. And I also feel like you shouldn't play silencer in ladder. Like I saw a mouse was with silencer in ladder. It's just shooting too slow, and you need a weapon which is shooting faster.
I've noticed that about you actually. You play silencer still, but whenever in long distance you switch to AUG, I think. I think that's super smart. I think you're probably still one of the only, not one of the few, but I think you were probably one of the first to start that with the new change with the AUG being cheaper.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, the AUG, I was trying it, and I was looking up the statistics of the weapon, how much damage, and
it's really good.
Fire rate and stuff. And I found out it's a really strong weapon, and I don't know if a lot of people knows it, or if you guys know it. It's a one-shot headshot weapon.
Range, right?
Yeah, you need to be close. It's like 3 meters. You need to stay, and for example, in ladder, it's really good.
Right.
You can just shoot blind, and the recoil is also like pretty easy to control. And even the recoil is different when you zoom, and it's easier to control it. So the weapon, it's situationally very strong, and I feel like the silencers give you advantage in few duels, like when you take different duels. But yeah, I think how you prefer it. For me, it's just working at the moment. Sometimes I switch AUG, sometimes I take the silencer. I like both weapons, to be honest.
Yeah. No, but I think that it's a good fix to the whole thing, because I know in 1.6 you just had a choice of a silencer or not. Whereas we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, for
so like it gives you a little bit more
flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I stay in sandwich now, where he died exactly with a silencer, and play a little bit sneaky around the smoke, I like the silencer. And if I'm, for example, in ladder, I take the AUG because it's first of all one shot and it makes a lot of damage. So if and it's shooting as fast as the M4 without a silencer, so it's.
You got some strategy behind the buys.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
No,
I knew that. I knew that.
I saw you playing Ivy with the AUG as well.
Yeah, because I play also some positions where you can't normally hold an angle with the M4 against, not even against a Deagle. You can't hold it because it's hard to kill him. And with AWP, you can just hold few positions and make a lot of damage. And
It's
Being
fun
scoped
difference.
in and just
yeah,
take a
this is
little
what I
bit.
try. Like I switch it around when I feel like I'm also just learning still and finding out.
Yeah, I mean
maybe
that's
a
also a
good
very new
position.
change.
Yeah,
It's fun to see that kind of stuff happening on the game at this.
No, but that's
age.
what I was talking about that yesterday in terms of like in other games they changed the meta in that sense of like changing a few things, and this AUG change is just a very slight change, but it flips the meta a little bit
Yeah, for
of like
sure.
what you decide to do and how you decide to buy, and I like that.
yeah,
I think it keeps the game a little bit more fresh in that
yeah,
sense.
for sure. We
Well-
also like the new change, but I don't really know why it is like $50 more expensive than the M4. But
They did it on purpose, just sold it for the scope, I think. Right?
okay, yeah, they say like okay, it needs to be a little bit more expensive, but
Right.
not that much.
Because if you keep it at the same price, right? And I think, if anything, because like you're saying, they all also one-shot kills.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be like
I
that's
didn't know
worth the
that, to be
$50?
honest. I didn't
right?
know that.
There's a joke to be made here about that. Remember that post about you guys going to Valve's offices, and it's like,
Right.
hey Forrest, would you use the silence if it was 2,900? Maybe if he had 40 bullets on the side.
I remember. So I mean, so the thing is, you can blame us a lot for the.
No, listen,
for the,
it's
for the,
just
for the
funny
clip.
how it was explained, like as if
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's like the full tinkering process. Like, hey Fifth, we give you $50 discount. That enough
Right.
to change your mind? It's like, you give us a couple of cool skins for the silencer, and we got a deal.
No, but it was like because our worry, because we knew that the silencer in that sense was stronger in that, because you can't
Yeah,
see
it was much better at the
yeah,
time.
playing Source, we knew that silencer doesn't show tracers, so it's just like it's a very strong weapon. No one played like the silencer in that set because they're the same. So it's just there has to be something that you are not getting if you're getting that, right? Because shooting through smoke with no trace is OP.
Yeah.
Right, and hence that's why they changed the magazine, the clip size. So they didn't want you to have 60 bullets
Yep.
extra to shoot through the smoke the whole time. So they changed to 4. You have to be reservative. And I actually think, like, if you think about it, yeah, it sucks, right? Because you're like, people want to spam,
Yeah.
right? And that's like, oh, I can't believe if it only had like one more magazine. This was solely on purpose, so it wouldn't be an issue of like, yeah, okay, I kept on dying through the smoke, and I feel like I'm not even getting. It's not an unfair advantage in that sense.
but-
Spamming used to be a lot more fun in the old days, where you could spam through any wall. That's that was the life. Jordan,
Yeah, but
Jordan
that-
on the other hand is thinking like, yeah, I remember when I could see everybody through the walls exactly like on GoTV,
Yeah.
and I'd just be tapping with the silencer,
right.
just killing them one by
They're
one.
looking like in
Then
the
I-
air,
then I-
don't know
Then
where
Then I,
it's
thinking-
then I made a movie out of it and made a career out of that whole thing.
What I'm actually thinking is about the game. Tell me. No, I'm actually curious on this first gun round. I want to see how Ghost played it because
Ghost played
like
really
Gob
differently
said,
now
they,
than
they
yesterday.
Yeah, they set up a nice narrative for the T side here.
One is out inner even. Like I feel like they giving them way too much room, way too much respect. Look, they're in front of Ivy, but okay, now they make the frags. It's but I feel like it could backfire. Like if
Yeah,
Ghost-
if you let
Ghost
them
say-
get out there 5 times in a row,
Yeah.
2 times they'll get the kill, and then they just win the round.
And also like it's really hard. Like I think Ghost made a small mistake. If you come like there's one point you need to, you need to say, okay, this is our strategy, or like this is our goal. If you keep going, and try to get as much as room as you can get, then this can happen. They can go double up,
That's-
or
I think that's one of the hardest things usually for inexperienced teams when they play slow default. It's a lot of the time people don't really know when to stop. You know,
Like, yeah, this is
what is the goal? Like
Yeah,
how much map
exactly.
control you need, and at what point someone needs to decide like, are we going here? Are we going here? So you don't end up in those situations
Yeah.
where one guy lurks out of alley, one guy lurks out of lower.
we call it Vega Squadron style. It's like they're just coming to you. Like they're taking every
Also,
one.
they don't have the control.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what Ghost did good in one sense, that they get so much control, but they need to keep playing together.
Smart. Or just like when they go Ivy there, use a smoke for the
Exactly.
backside.
To play with each other, Maybe the teammate player can make a little bit pressure when they are close Ivy, so at least they're coming pressure from more
2v1
sides.
guy,
Yeah.
and then
And now they're playing the strategy. Like every team has this kind of strategy, like doing we call it optic smokes, like 5,
The
6 smokes.
six
and,
lane smokes,
yeah,
and
and
just
then
push through.
when they start fading, they smoke behind green and Z, and just doing this kind of strategy.
Ghost looks so different from the game against Energy. They're running like nothing that they did yesterday, which is good because yesterday was a train wreck.
That's nice. Someone flashed them.
Yeah,
above
yeah,
the
from the back.
I feel like what the Polish teams do really well on this map is also retaking this exactly this side. I felt like we played, I think, also Virtus Pro in the Prague, and they had like really good retakes on this side. They have good feeling about the map, I think. But I think, like in general, I think Polish teams are strong on train.
Kinguin played pretty passively outside that round. They kind of let Ghost
What map
have
did
outside.
Kinguin ban? Did they ban Inferno? Because I feel like Ghost could have gone with Inferno.
The first vetoes were Overpass and Inferno.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think.
That's why they couldn't have the chance.
Yep.
Well, still a good half for Ghost if they can scrape a couple more here.
They have money?
You can live with 5. It's not.
Oh, it's not bad. And
Yeah.
they will get a few rounds more. They can do inner execute and even win the half maybe. The problem is that the Cetis has economy advantage now.
Yeah.
And if you keep going inner and still even win the round, they have first of all a good retake situation because they have so much equipment, and they could just save.
Yep.
And yeah, you win a round, but
Yeah, they're going to continue buying, so
exactly.
you never just get the free
and
rounds.
then they will like Kinguin should most of the time win this half. They should go for 9 rounds, and 8 rounds would be okay, and then everything is kind of open. I would like that. They don't read the money correctly.
That almost went bad.
If they would have read the money correctly, even though they win this round, this is obviously a setup which punishes
Yeah,
inner
I mean, there's
execute
no
and
point.
default. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no point sending
Now they
3
showed
inner
it.
against an
Yeah,
eco.
now
Yeah.
they showed it.
You think they
And-
push lower again this round?
No, I don't think so.
No, now you
Like,
now you get
playing
that up.
with-
That's what they should have done the next gun round because it's likely that Ghost tries
Exactly.
inner.
Yeah, that was that should have been an eco. That was sure.
I mean, if I'm Ghost, I think now I fake inner and go back outside like they did the first gun round. Because I think
I
King
feel like
was
they're good
expecting the inner hit.
I feel like they're playing good with control. They should do default into getting the room, but then playing something out of each other, like
The
play
mid and
A
Ivy
or
split.
B or whatever they have in their books. Oh, they try to play something fast. Okay, now we are smoked off. What is the plan? Hey, I make a dark smoke. I make a flash. Okay, that looks a bit chaos, but oh, he found
They
found
actually
his
got
way.
out. Ooh, that's rough. No one was covering that side. They just didn't expect anyone to run through the smokes. No one was looking at that side of the train.
Jordan, they did the inner punish again, like 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Ghost read that now or it was just like a round
Probably
before.
not.
But Kinguin just said, hey, we do it again. They will not expect it. And yeah, Ghost plays faster ladder. Even
It's
though
just
they
a
smoked
guess,
it
but
off.
that's like a line of thought sometimes you
No,
have.
You know, you could be a genius, but it could be also just luck.
Yeah.
No,
we
I
don't
think it's a
know.
bit of both. Because on one hand, I'm just thinking of like Taz, who's kind of like he has that stubbornness in his thoughts. I think.
Yeah?
Like,
Yeah, it could be.
but then
we
on
don't know.
Ghost, there's a good chance Ghost was just like outside splits work, but
you
let's do
see,
it quicker.
against me it would have worked because I would have said default, and now my inner player dies. I'm like, shit, how did
Well, that's what. That's
Like-
why, like, I think when we were with like Cloud9 the last time we played VPN Train, the same thing would kind of happen, because Taz would say like, if either we lose a dumb round, he knows we're gonna default because everyone's just like.
yeah.
It was like when Stu was calling. Stu was either calling really well, or he was doing like the obvious kind of default strat default. So
But as I said, now they saved and still their money looking really great. And
yeah,
this, I say sometimes this round is just a round. You know, it's
look at all
just
those
a
nades
point.
across
Yeah.
the board.
it's not making anything
Yeah, because
different.
both
than-
teams have money.
Exactly. And it's hard to win 2 rounds in a row ST
Yep.
against full equipped CTs.
Thing for Kinguin is I think you kind of need to play aggressive enough outside that you don't let Ghost get outside where you actually get to take aim duels, because I think they have more skill. I think like if they keep getting outside and getting getting just fair duels against the CTs, I think that's a place Kinguin don't want to be.
I feel like they play out of their orbs now. They didn't even get ladder control. They didn't even get
They
team
just do like
control.
4 nades
Yeah, I mean,
at Ivy.
they
And now
basically
they-
just gave up on playing aggressive outside.
But normally it shouldn't work because they have so much equipment left, and they can use a smoke and a fading smoke, and after the smoke is fading with a good flash, like they can damage them as well. But you can see they're playing with their minds. The side player went a little bit to Z, kind of, hey, maybe they come inner. They play with them. It looks very weird 4 Ivy, 1 is inner. It looks very weird round by Ghost, but could work
Need to
maybe
trade
now.
faster.
But I
Okay,
feel like
there
there's
we go.
someone is missing in teammate. But they're just going out and making the frags.
It's one of those things where like it looks weird when you don't see anybody splitting, but at the same time, like the CTs are looking at teammate and ladder because they're waiting for that guy to come.
Yeah.
So then you get the extra trader coming out of
Exactly.
alley.
That's why Wardell got the frag. Maybe he would have done teammate, and you know he needs to hit his timing as well. He can just go rush out and yeah, as me would have also think like where's now the teammate player? You know, like where's the obvious?
sure. You're looking for
but
the
there
lurk.
are four Ivy. It's like, but I feel like Kinguin made a mistake. They're giving them too much room. The whole time where 4 people were in Ivy, I would have gone into ladder. I have ladder control. So
Well,
the
what
op-
was weird too is Rollin and his Ivy guy did a molly, flash, smoke, flash, and then just gave it up.
Yeah.
It was-
I mean, they had 2. So that's basically what God was saying. It's like they had 2 people Ivy, but they didn't control Ivy. So
Yeah.
at that point, when it smoked
yeah.
all the way up, and you're only looking like towards the first little
entry.
entry thing halfway. At that point, you should be playing
server.
aggressive outside at least, because otherwise you have no control.
The problem is with this setup as well is they don't even have the chance to maybe go behind red and watch Ivy from there because they don't have teammate or ladder control.
Yep.
So they could have gained that. Oh, nice frag. Oh, he was even totally alone.
That's risky. Oh, is he gonna get out? Oh yeah,
Nice.
Steel didn't run after him.
He
Then at
felt
6,
like
that's a pretty good T-side for Ghost.
yeah, for sure. They also play really controlled. I feel like it is a good mix of both fast and they had also a good flow. Like sometimes it's really hard to judge the flow from outside of the game. But I'm also calling a lot of on flow. Like after the game, I don't even know why I called it in that specific round. Sometimes obviously you have something in mind, but it's just sometimes a flow. The keep the flow going and try to do it like you do in preg, right? You don't stop in preg and I don't know, take a timeout like not the most teams. And
I mean, I think sometimes you have a read that you like. It's almost subconscious, right? Like you don't realize like what that little thing that triggers in your brain is, where you think like, oh, we should call that. Where if you actually really deeply thought about it, you probably get to the full rationale behind it. That's 7. That's gonna be 8-6 probably, and
That's a
almost no money on Kinguin. And Kinguin won the pistol.
I
That's
feel like
a
it's
really
Ghost
good
game
half
to
by
lose
Ghost.
now.
Yeah.
But they need a clutch round. There's a smoke left. Now someone who's dead needs to save him because he maybe run over a smoke.
They saw Wardell in ladder though. They're not gonna expect.
He had a smoke left. So. But this is something the dead players need to do, because the inner player Reds just run over a dead body and got a smoke, and didn't know it, and it's sometimes hard to see. But as I said, it's Kinguin needed to at least have 8 rounds, and maybe they will get it. But it was a really good run from Bordel.
Did we guys put any bets on Bordel? Over under?
No, we forgot to do that. We'll do that for the next map.
I feel like it's really the player which coming up as next, kinda.
Yeah, I first watched quite a bit of him at that, what was that tournament in Santa Ana, Jordan?
Zotac?
Yeah, Zotac Cup. They didn't
Yeah,
do
he had
well
some
as a
crazy
team,
rounds, right?
but he had really good rounds. He had one game in particular where I remember he had like 38 kills or something on Cash, I think.
They ended up winning that event, didn't they, Ty?
Did they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they ended up winning that, yeah. That's why ever since then, I feel like Ghost is just such a fun team to watch because they're new, they're fresh. The only really like old school person you have on there is Josh, in the sense like Kusa's been around, but like Josh, because he hasn't been in the scene for so long either. It's like he's a very experienced in-game leader, but it's also very new in that sense. Like
Well,
you haven't played against
They
him
have a
for
good mix of kinda experienced players, because Sabrosa and Kusa also playing like for
Oh, and Sabrosa,
at least a longer time, and they have Pro League. They played Pro League. They played some lands, and they made their own experience, you can say. And Wardell is more fresh, and I don't really know the Neptune guy.
16 years old.
Was 16 years old.
The Neptune guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Born
they
in
have a really good
2002.
mix, and they have, I think, with Steel a really solid player, which also steps up his game lately. I feel like always when I watch it, he has good lurks. At least like sometimes we say in our team, yeah, this team has dead lurks, because the lurk is so bad that he comes when everyone is dead, and we call it like dead lurk.
Right.
It's useless, and
Or
I feel like
Actually, it's
he's
funny.
not doing this.
We were talking about that yesterday about like the lurking role in general. We feel like it's a little somewhat dead in that sense. Like, you know, back in the day, the lurk role was like you're saying, like the dead lurk. You either just go when we get the bomb down, and he comes from like on Inferno, he
It's
just comes
much
and boiler
more
or
complex now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the new school players that does the lurking, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's more like
You know?
how do I can get the most room alone without, you know, being
Obvious.
dying or
Right.
something like that. Like they understand kind of the aggressiveness.
Kinguin's already out of Ivy.
Good decision to go back bomb. They even smoked in front of side, or was it a CD smoke?
Can't tell. Well,
Both pistols now so
whoever,
far.
I think it was Wardell who was spotting Ivy for a Ghost. Like I'm not sure, first of all, if he called that they were rushing him backside, because it didn't seem like his teammates were aware of that. But man, like they were out Ivy so fast.
I think they felt like it's gonna be an ladder hit, and that's why they were concentrating to that side, and like miscommunication. They got too much room, and then made the right decision to go to old bomb and split to the old bomb left, two left, one right.
Maybe we can go together later.
Well, they definitely were not expecting the Ivy push.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, all of a sudden, like a couple rounds ago, it looked like Ghost might get an 8-7 win first half, and now it looks like Kinguin has pretty good control.
If pistols are still very important because just the flow of the game, but I feel like it's also which is really important, and like this is how I feel. It's like this USP ecos. You need to get 1 or 2 frags. It's really making the difference. Like I feel like there are too many Mac 10s now on Kinguin side because what you're gonna do when you win this round with 5 players and yeah, you can just maybe play inner
Can't really upgrade
something,
all
yeah.
of them.
Yeah, you will probably not, and you're very limited to do stuff. I would rather see one doing a full eco. You know, even if you lose the round, he has more money than the rest, and yeah, the full eco and the Mac 10. You don't need 3 Mac 10s because you don't need to go 3 players which going in front. Maximum 2, I think. It's a right amount. Then one can lead there, and the others have an AK with less equipment.
Yeah, you can also the SMG doesn't always have to be Mac 10, right? Like
Yeah,
obviously
exactly.
it's the easiest to lead places with, but maybe the third guy just gets like a UMP, and at least it's usable in longer distances
Yeah.
and other battles, which, you know, Mac 10 not really.
How do you feel, guys, about the MP5?
It just has a cool animation. Psh,
That's it.
that's it.
Isn't it like
It's not that
somewhat?
strong, right?
It's
I feel
almost
like it's not
identical
It
to
that
doesn't
MP7,
look
right?
good.
Like MP9, so it's what is it in terms of strength, right? Because MP7 is weaker than MP9.
It's UMP and P90 maybe as
Yeah,
stronger.
and
Like
what is the switch?
I would like to use more MP7 than MP5.
Yo, or
I've-
MP9.
Yeah, MP9 is. I like MP9 a lot. But at
MP9
the
is
moment,
actually
I
really
feel
good.
like the UMP is also getting like back. But it's for me, it's changing a lot of times. Sometimes I say like, yeah, the UMP is fucking useless, and then sometimes I say like, okay, the UMP is really good. So I don't know, it's changing. But they're doing 2 ecos, I think.
Yep.
It's cool.
I think that's the right play. Like you're still CT, even if it's 7-11. Like you just want to make sure you have lots of money instead of.
What they can
risking it.
also play is like an kind of an half-buy way that you have at least a smoke, because in this round you can gamble because they have 2 saved Mac 10s, and what you're gonna play with it most of the time inner, so they can maybe play like they are with 3 in there. So but the execute comes, so okay, that's an important one.
Well, it's
So just a save
That's
anti-eco
basically
to go inner.
yeah.
Use a lot of equipment, have good waypoints.
Thing too about buying on the third round on CT side now is even though you can get even if you don't think you need that much utility on some map and you think you have a chance against the SMGs, the problem is if many of your players die, you have so little money for the next round.
You almost gain the same money when you win
Yeah.
or when you lose.
Yeah.
This is kind of
Yeah, but exactly, that's what I was getting at. So for Ts, it always benefits Ts
Yeah.
because they have a much easier time to buy than CTs. So that's why I was surprised. I asked yesterday because I thought with this change, with this in mind, that maps would have been a little bit more T-sided now.
Ooh, that's
But they're very
rough.
even.
Low HP's on Ghost, but they're still going to grab a couple frags. Now it's a 3-on-2. Big kills from Wardell here, but that almost went so many different directions with the low HP now. And 2 AWPers remaining versus 1 AK. That's always kind of a sticky situation if you miss a shot. You
I
can
feel like
either
you should have stayed on site there.
Rowland.
That was a really
Yeah,
good
he
position to just
probably
kind
doesn't
of roam
know.
around
Maybe
it.
make radar trick against the smoke, against Old Bomb. You get information, and they need to do exactly what they're doing. They need to kind of group up and play the safe positions. But, okay, now obviously he has a really big chance. But in some point, he needs to stop because he's like, okay, I have enough room. They need to watch in their back sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is exactly what he's doing and try to win the clutch now.
Yeah, that's a really good plan too.
So what you gonna do, Jordan, now? You go behind default and be
I
smart,
just sit
or
back, Pop Dog.
Like Pop's bad for that plan.
Oh,
No, because
Rallen,
what?
he
Wha-
plays
what-
behind default.
Watch lower ramp.
Like a cold Sarah play.
No, not watch lower RAM. You need to play on read.
Yeah, no, you just sit there for a second. They're not going to
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
up sidewalk together.
Oh, I like this.
What?
They heard it. They heard it.
No way.
Could have worked, man.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Oh, Wardell with another big round. 3 kills.
I feel like when you stand up at bomb train, your head is randomly like exposed. Like if there one's on top oil, one's below oil.
He can see you, right?
I don't know.
Oh, that's important frags here. Not gonna miss shots.
Also, I wonder if he knew there was both ops.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
I
there's
don't
no
think
way to know because they
No,
can,
you can
they
also
yeah.
just pick it
guns.
up, right?
Sometimes you can see in the names Kusta and Wardell was living, but it's hard to tell. But now in execute against double op.
Not a terror.
That's what you said too, Gob. It's a good call, I feel like.
It's
you know?
fine. You will get always a plant most of the time.
It's
you
like
have some
Mirage
money.
A or something, you know.
And sometimes you can't really outplay the enemy all the time. You just need to hope that your AWP is gonna clutch around. Like we say, do the Oscar mouse bot spray. Yeah, we go on a bomb site, plant the bomb somehow. Doesn't matter how many people live. We hope that our AWPs wins the round, you know? But
I mean,
it's just a
listen, like
fake.
just getting if you have when there are bomb sites where you can kind of guarantee a plant, like that's at least a fair shot, you know. Like you're gonna get somewhat favorable duels from getting the bomb down.
Yeah, no, that's why like the old nuke was so dangerous. Like if you got bombed down and like with just one person, the other 3 went ramp, and you just
My
got the
gosh,
bomb. Like
that
it's-
timing.
You could have won any round there.
Yeah.
Like getting the bomb down, just low by
But that's
here, in or
why-
2, and just nade in and push.
That's
also
why I
works.
think a lot of the issues Nuke has as a map, I think, would be helped if you had to crouch in vents, because then the CTs couldn't rotate so fast. I think I think a lot of the people think that it actually helps the Ts to be able to go down lower. I think it helps the CTs because it means that you don't have to ever risk someone playing secret, because you can get down secret so fast.
The rotation is very fast, yes,
Yeah.
for CTs for sure. But I think that's why they made that change, so you don't have the vents out towards the actual bomb site anymore. You have to
So I
run
think
around.
the changes was really good on Nuke. I think at least you can play it now. I felt before it was really not unplayable, but it was not fun.
Yeah.
I feel like it's now better, but there's a big but. It's I feel like it's really hard to observe. It's
Yeah.
really hard to observe it. Yeah, they try to do the radar showing lower, but I feel like and it looks most of the time the same. Like, when did you see a new strategy with outside
Only recently
last
with
3
the molly.
months?
No, I would have. You're right.
Which molly?
The molly to put out the bounce smoke. You know, so
Yeah,
now
but this exists still. Nuke exists, so it is very long time.
couple months now
Yeah.
at least, yeah.
So I mean, like, every team has kind of the same playbook, you know, and I don't like that on a map, on any map. Also, that's why a lot of people don't like Cash, because most of the time it looks, yeah, we play default and in 1 minute we take mid,
Right.
and then mid round call. This is what people don't like. I feel like, and on Nuke it's kind of the same. Everyone throws this lurk smoke, so he can go behind red, and then the double smoke comes, and obviously, yeah, you have the double smoke as a fake. You have the double smoke ramp contact, you have double smoke going fast down, you have double smoke slow down, and like you have like 6 tactics with 2 smokes, and you kind of play the combination.
Right. And you always have to do that
Yeah.
on maps like that almost, unless you do like an inner rush or just an execute or something.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you have your
it looks always the
balances,
same.
but you need to have it look the same. And
I would have, yeah, you're right. I would have loved it when the change came out the first time for Nuke, if the lower bomb site was not strictly right under the upper bomb site. What if they had moved that even further over, you know, like so you don't have, because right now, like
how
you're
do you
saying,
rotate from ramp then?
No, that's what I'm saying. That they obviously the whole map would have had
Yeah,
to be
would
completely
have been
changed.
changed. Yeah.
What if you remake it so ramp is actually a bomb site now? Because you taking ramp nowadays, right? You have to you have to remake the whole map. But I was saying yesterday, if you take ramp as T, it doesn't give you anything. You don't win anything there. It's like you just get another. It's like taking mid in Inferno. You know what I mean? You get something, but you're still nowhere near the sites.
Yeah.
You know, it's still like you waste so much utility
Sometimes
to get ramp.
even getting harder. Like now I have room, but man, they know where we are, and
Exactly,
it feels
yeah.
so hard.
So that's why I don't like maps like that, because you literally don't gain anything. Same with yard. That's why you always have to take yard.
What?
Oh,
going on?
Kusta.
By the way, my man,
That-
Mies, I called it out
Yeah.
before.
A smart.
was
That was
round.
a weird clutch.
But
That's such a gamble
just,
too.
just be happy 1 second that we weren't in the in-eye of Kusta. And yeah, can just happen. He missed some shots, and Minis took advantage
Also,
of it.
Wardell probably could have just backed off farther when they knew he was stuck in Olaf.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes it's also hard to hear on LAN. Like, whoa, that was a cool round. Yeah, this is kind of a neck breaker for Ghost, but they need to win this now. This is a round where the AWP needs to win you the round. Everyone needs to hide and pray, please, big brother with the AWP, with a big green gun, win the round for us.
I mean, just make sure no one is extended to in the way where they can get picked off, and then just hope Wardell finds duels.
What Mousebots like to do in these rounds, they don't like to default. They say we rush one side, and they live with this decision. They say, if we lose it, it doesn't matter. We can sleep tonight really well because we haven't played the default game.
Yeah,
and
didn't walk into the AWP.
Yeah, exactly. And if the AWP is there when you rush, it's okay. You have
I mean,
also
you
like
can
the
still
chance.
win,
Yeah, exactly.
but at least you don't get picked off
oh,
one
he's
by one.
on side. But they...
Oh, that's rough.
But why did they don't use equipment?
I don't know. They didn't use any utility. They did so hard for themselves.
They thought maybe the rotator was playing based off nades, so they just wanted to get that timing.
Yeah, they wanted to hit the timing, and yeah, they didn't hit it, and it looks sometimes really bad. But also the one player didn't hit helmet. That's why Kusta
Entry
could kill
frag,
too.
yeah.
And yeah. Then even if you don't have helmet, it's better than an M4.
Look at
You have to
Kinguin's
get
money now. They're 1,400, 1,500.
This is a game changer.
Yep. If Ghost win this now, then it's on that round. That's
Yeah,
the one
exactly.
that flipped it.
Now the game is again on the side of Ghost because they could collect some weapons, 2
Yep.
AKs, as we see, and yeah, they have, like, look, they have 1k left on the buy, so they need to do 2 ecos, and even 2 ecos don't give you everything you want or everything you need, maybe. So you need also to have strategies where you just buy with 4,400. You don't have the luxury of having 2 flashes all the time. So you need to have strategies where you say, hey, we do a budget of it. The budget, okay, I don't have this flash, sorry. You need to communicate that, and your teammate needs to know, okay, maybe I need to change my waypoint. Maybe I need to hit a different timing. It is a lot of times it's something like that which is really important that an in-game leader need to do to understand, okay, we can't use a flash here now. Yeah, if we die it looks stupid, but you need to do it like this sometimes. I don't like this position. This
This
round
steals
because because he has a farmers. I don't know how many kills he wants to make, but
I feel like everyone just hates on the farmers.
yeah, that's true.
He gets 2, not bad.
Good.
The Molly really helped.
Yeah. That buy was not at all worth it for Kinguin.
They planted, but they will have a better buy at 12-12. at 12-12 they will have a lot of money. Ghost and Ghost just need to. If they never lose 5 players, they will win this game easy. If they keep saving and losing rounds even, they will have a really easy time. But they have now one more eco, what they could play something fast, maybe out mid and out Ivy fast, like try to catch one player off guard. I think Ghost did it in the first half, or was it Kinguin?
Yeah, they did it in the early, like
Yeah,
right when
exactly.
you were sitting down. Sub Rosa got out Ivy, got 2
Yeah,
kills there.
exactly. Something like that could have worked, but now they don't have really idea. I don't like that so much because they will just play like
Yeah, I mean
just
they're letting
get
the
over
CTs
with,
get
kind
set
of.
up and
Yeah,
then
exactly. And you just giving them
But you
way
should
more
try
money too.
really hard because if you get one more plant here, you have AWP and equipment, and it's
Makes a big difference.
Sometimes it feels like also when you play Train T, you are checkmates. You feel like it doesn't matter what I call or what. This is sometimes how I feel. The enemy has such a good flow. They know they have such a good read. It's so hard for you to play the right thing. So what do we need then? It's like a round where you feel comfortable and clutch good. You just need to win the clutches then.
Oh, I
This
know
is
you
what
mean.
we
Like it's
hoped
important with
yesterday.
how you feel,
Yeah.
how you approached rounds. Nothing complicated. Just
Yeah,
something you
exactly.
like.
It's because you can't do a double fake into. You can be as smart.
Then you are.
They just.
You
they
start to get a angst build up when
Yeah,
you lose the
exactly.
round. You're trying fakes and and then
Yeah.
you lose it dumb, and
This is-
then
this is-
carry it.
This is what we tried yesterday against G2. We didn't have the good flow. We lose some rounds where they pushed, and then I tried to say like, hey, let's play a round where Owen can win us the round. He had a good game and he felt like he can clutch this round. And then we tried like, okay, what is the kind of easiest way to get the bomb plant and bring him in a good position? And sometimes you just you need to have the fist fight and win it out. Sometimes it's not like magic and good calls. It's just like a fist fight in the outback. What can I play now, Jordan? What do you think? 12-12, everything is on the line now.
I'm a little disconnected from the half at the moment from what we've been looking at.
Okay, they did do smokes,
I think
no pressure.
Old
really.
Faithful.
I'm not a fan of this. What Kinguin's doing the first swap around here. No control whatsoever. They're having Ghost is a great call here.
I feel like they
They have
don't
to
feel
take out
pressure.
Ivy.
The idea of this smokes is that someone can lurk around, this kind of stuff, and I don't know, something like that. So give them the idea that you could do something, but they feel very, very cool.
well,
now
they're comfortable.
rotate,
They're not worried about that because they haven't been burned that way before.
And they haven't used the smoke before, I think,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So it's the first time they come and they don't respect it,
Yeah. No, I mean, if you did that once before someone lurked out, got a kill, then you'd really have to worry about it.
Now
But
they're
they haven't
searching,
done that.
Hey, where is he? Where is he? I can flash you there, and they take time to check positions, and then you can do the inner execute. Now it's like, man, I have this left, nothing worked. Yeah, okay, we need to go inner.
Yeah.
And at the moment that there are 3 inner, and he's making even the right move. Throw the bomb as well, but yeah, and you can't punish this player normally. Yeah, that's. And then it's like a desperate round, like, that's a good call. Like, he goes out mid, gives the illusion that they're going A, but they're waiting. They're losing the timing, though, at the moment on high ramp. They try to wait on one more contact. Now
Oh,
they-
that was the
yeah,
big one.
Yeah.
Because that really opened it up, but Street's going to die? Can't tell if he's...
He needs to go behind 3, though. Oh, very good.
Wow,
Wow, what a turnaround.
That was a,
it's crazy.
that was a
with
great
his HP.
recovery. That looked like
That
a
was
lost
an
round when
insane
Joss was
mid-round
peeking
call.
top round.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it. That they fake into a fake.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely wasn't the call at start time, Like,
Yeah,
that was
yeah. it was on the run.
yeah.
Nice round from him. He
Wow.
made the really important frag.
Yep.
And obviously Ghost made a mistake rotating out of ladder, which is like a key position. If you just stay in ladder. So the inner fakers, either you hear them running
Yep.
to white walls and running to team it, or you obviously hear them going down ladder and kill them. So the
It was,
fake shouldn't have worked, but yeah, obviously sometimes you also get lucky. The ladder player was low, wanted to get a reposition, don't die against the nade or something like that, or spam. So
The problem was that Sub Rosa went for the peak. We saw when Taz was
Timid.
still looking at no. In ladder, he looked up and
Yeah,
Taz
yeah.
was holding, because if he never took that damage, then he could have just kept holding ladder. That's why he
yeah, but then they
ended up
wouldn't
falling
have
back.
had the.
Well, he killed
frag.
Taz,
Yeah, he killed him above ladder. Like they fought.
but then he fell back and died to
Well, was
teammate.
it exactly was Sub Rosa that ended up dying when he fell back from pop from the guy?
I think, yeah.
I think he's the guy who Reeds
Right.
picked
And
up.
if he didn't, like to Tommy's point, that if he didn't peek there, he would have never known he's in pop dog. Guy in T Connect probably doesn't go out and kill him.
Like he could know that he's in ladder, but it's so hard to clear it then.
Yeah.
Because he could be sandwich, he could be a city quad.
Also
And now
no
this is what I mean.
utility.
Like now they have a good feeling. Like it doesn't matter what you play. Now they want to be smart behind the smokes, but maybe they have an opening now. It's important that you get the side now fast. If you don't get the side fast, it's almost unwinnable. I
Ooh,
think.
is that nade gonna get him? That's what I hate about the nades, where it's like, like 1 pixel
So
somewhere.
his teammate has a flash. Now he needs to go in a good position and flash him exactly this player. Yeah, the flash comes. And his teammate not doing anything,
Wait,
but he has
why-
one more flash, no problem. Yeah, good. Bad flash now, and now the good flash needs to come.
That needs to be a kill.
Or the
Yeah.
bad
Yeah,
aim
that
needs
needs
to
to be
come.
a kill.
But that can happen though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit pressure. You can feel, you can see the pressure is there.
The mindset was good though, like in the sense of like
I
you
mean,
saw
that's-
there the,
No,
even the
he had a
teamwork in that
free frag.
sense.
He had a
Yeah,
free frag, for
I agree.
sure.
I
It's
agree.
also one of those rounds where like you can just tell Kinguin doesn't have utility. Normally the guy taking brown hole would have just molly top ramp, and then the opera would have
Exactly.
never peaked. Then they wouldn't have known that there's no one there.
And this is sometimes really hard to get. You need to use a lot of equipment, and you don't want to use every time a lot of equipment because
Yeah, you gotta take risks
they-
sometimes. You can't
yeah.
always use full utility to take map
and
control.
This makes a good player, like he has a good nose when to use a lot of equipment and when just like wide peak. And yeah, sorry, I'm dying sometimes, but 9 out of 10 rounds I saved the Molotov, and
Yeah.
it's harder to play against me, because I'm more deceptive and harder to play.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
harder to read.
it's an easy player to play against if you know what they're always gonna like. They always play
exactly.
the safe way.
It's
then it's easy
too
to play
too
against
standard,
because
yeah,
it's
it's too
very
standard.
predictable.
And you can, if someone plays like this, you can use a lot of times use a good timing with your anti-nades. This is how we counter teams. If they take stuff too safe, we say, okay, if you take it too safe, I know that you are in that timing there, we try to nade him. Or at least make him some damage, or make his life, more like flash somewhere that he thinks, oh, we maybe re-aggress somewhere, and they're afraid that we taking room again.
Then you also know against similar players that you maybe don't have to use as much utility
Yeah, for
before
sure.
spotting them, because you know
100%,
there's gonna be
100%, yeah.
whatever grenade coming in before them.
Yeah, for example, I can give you a good example. If you play against Nico, face Nico on cash, and you go every single time door and open the door and be in pain in the ass, he will say in one point, hey, bro, no, you can't take that so easy against me. He will open the door, get a flash, and he just like, come at me. If you want a one-on-one, he will take it, and he says to the door player, hey, bro, you need to Molotov sometimes there, or you need to flash. So you can't just come and be the pain in the ass that you are. So he takes the fights, and that makes a really, really good player like him to an even greater player, I think, because the approach is really, really important as well.
Deep there, that's the that's the volley they didn't have last time around.
What can they play? They have such a bad buy. It's so hard.
I think they're just forcing it, or that's the only thing with the Mac 10s.
Yeah, they need to force it, have a plant, and come close to the smokes.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you need
the
a
only
deep,
way,
deep
yeah.
smoke lower. You probably need a
But
molly Z, and
they
then you need to
should
get
not
up really up
They should not
close.
explode. They have double up. They need to wait till the smoke's popping. Wait. So the op gets not the first
Yeah.
frag here. Okay, they did this smoke, okay? It's kind of the hidden smoke where you smoke above. But it's not winnable, I think.
Yeah, they
Someone
didn't-
needs to do
didn't push
something
up.
big. Yeah. Who's it? Minis, my man. Let's go.
Oh, look at that. Kusta's low.
Go to the left. The smoke is fading now. Be careful.
Nice.
Oh, that was lucky that
Okay,
he got
okay.
that kill.
Okay, now Taz has... Nice, Taz wins it. Let's go.
I'm not a fan. So I'm not a fan of Kinguin's Seaside so far. They haven't taken Ivy a single time. Ghost playing.
No,
They
Ghost-
have all
Ghost-
control.
Listen,
Like, that
Ghost
was-
T-side looked a lot better, but this is
Right.
like what God was saying. Is
Right.
the Kinguins just get the clutches. They just
No,
get
that's
into
what-
those
exactly.
situations
Like
and they
that-
somehow win.
Like
Yeah,
like,
the
exactly.
Kustar clutch where he missed 2 shots. Minis one like a crazy clutch. Now
Yep.
this.
No, those are the 2 rounds, right? That they've
Yeah,
that they've won
exactly.
since like almost the
And they won
beginning.
both pistols,
Yeah.
haven't they? Yeah. So this is why it's close. You know, Ghost is for sure the better train team, but it doesn't matter sometimes.
Yep.
It matters who wins sometimes the clutches, have maybe better communication, better game flow, and wins pistols. But can they buy now? Yeah, they can
Yeah,
buy.
they can still buy.
Yeah, they can buy. They can buy. 14-14, Jordan. You need to make a call.
T-side or
Timeout. You are T.
Push back Ivy pressure. See if they're playing close mid. If not, leak out mid and Ivy late.
What is
Pinch hell.
What is not bad as CT now? What you could do?
Ooh, that's so close.
If they play aggressive,
Oh, they go out ladder. Not bad. They haven't played that, but against 2 orbs, that's a problem now. How you get
Just aim
closer to the
duels.
side? Yeah.
Just need to win aim duels. No.
Come on. No smoke nowhere.
I think that call was made because they thought that they were low on money.
Yep.
I think that was such a call.
They
of,
did
like,
True,
no
not.
money.
They
true.
did not realize they had
'Cause they
double
were
up.
We
That's
lose
for
no
sure.
so many
smokes.
rounds because sometimes Owen thinks like, hey, they don't have anything, like no op.
whoa, where is he? Bring him
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah. A lot of times we lose rounds because we miscalculate or do a mistake because you need to think sometimes someone saving a weapon, you know, don't need to drop maybe because he saved already a weapon, and then he has like 6,000 more than his teammate, and then hey, I drop your op, boom, and the op can win by itself, and now
I mean,
it's
that was
unwinnable.
Wardell getting 4 kills because there were no smokes. I mean, that's the biggest difference, right? It's like a couple $100 of miscalculation, depending on whether you think they can or cannot have an up. That can be the difference between the call being right or just being atrocious.
Well, GG.
I like in this round to control Ivy because they don't have so many
They've done it
weapons.
every round.
Yeah,
Every, so CT, because Kinguin has never gone there, this was the first time they went there. So Ghost has have full Ivy control.
Yeah,
So
I
Ghost
think
has
the better
been
team
very
won on
good on
train for
rotation.
sure.
That would have been. Imagine if Ghost wound up losing this game too after the energy losses. Like that would have been a frustrating map
Right,
to lose the
right.
way that
But
went.
I'm happy that Kinguin kind of at least showed up a fight. You know, the first game they played yesterday against Heroic, I was like, I would have even, you know, thought that Kinguin might have a chance against Heroic, and they didn't have any chance. But at least they have a fight. They had some clutch rounds which coming up for them. So it could be easy 3-map.
Well, that was like the classic test team, right? Like you kind of look outmatched. You don't really have a lot to fall back on, but you win some clutches, and all of a sudden it's 14-14, and you have a shot.
Yeah, this is sometimes how LAN goes. You know, we felt also like that does too today. We had some clutch rounds that we didn't win, and that's why it was kind of close. But we felt we were the
Yugi was
superior
playing well
team.
as well.
And Yugi
Oh, yeah.
destroyed us on A.
On A, he was insane, man.
Yeah.
He was insane.
This is sometimes it's-
You guys never won B. I was very surprising, but all the times you went
First
guys
gun
went
round
B,
you did
yeah,
mid B.
and you win. You kept on winning B, but you
We-
didn't go back. They
Yeah,
didn't
we
play
had
B very well.
we didn't have a game plan coming into this
Right.
game, and we've on why we liked us too is we don't need to play so structured. We play sometimes we just play, and then I see what is left, what kind of smoke is left, and then we play something together. That's why we after the 2 rounds what we won and we played a lot together. Like we had a strategy and we had an idea. We do this as a fake or fast B split. We won, but then we got to lose. You know,
Right.
we played too much on individual and we didn't know where to stop. Like, hey, I got this room, Fatih. What can we play now? Like, and
Right.
that's what we did wrong. That's why we kind of lost in the mid round or mid game of Dust 2. And yeah, after that we said, hey, let's play more together, play more, not like really structured, but let's play at least together. And then we fought some rounds together.
Yep.
Also kind of seems like you know make up for it on the CT side because you have a lot more structure with bunch of like early on setups going for different things.
Yeah, our CT is, we feel really confident as a CT. We know kind of, at least we feel like we know how to counter some styles. And I think that's really important also. You know, there are not that many styles, like there are very structured style and also like this very loose, like with fast fakes, a lot of time out long, and we feel like we know how to control it. That's why we feel we are strong on this map. But it's still a new map, even though we know everything. It's still, we need a lot more tough games and tough losses to really say this is like a really good map for us. So it's we feel good, but it's still not our best map. I think sometimes say like we are even bad on this map, but I don't know. It's just a feeling we feel good.
Right.
That's why we pick it sometimes.
Are you gonna? Was this your last map? Are you gonna go back to the hotel, or are you gonna stick around?
No, I will stick around.
You will stick around. Well,
All
that's great
Take
then.
a,
We'll
if
we'll
I
take a
can.
little break.
take a break and we'll be back
then
after
continue.
that. Yep.
Cool.